Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Rainy and today we are going to do a Flosstube update. I also do booktube on this channel, so if this is your first time here and you might be looking back um, through my videos and thinking like, not all of these things are yarn and cross-stitching related. This is true. I started off doing exclusively booktube content and recently have kind of transitioned to doing both things, both of my hobbies, because I am a multi-hobbyist and takes up a lot of my time. So why not add filming it to the bargain, right? So anyway, today is January 30th of 2022. It is a very cold, snowy day here, and but I have heard that next week is supposed to get up into the 40s Fahrenheit. So, I mean, that sounds like shorts and t-shirts weather to me. Not really. Although you will see plenty of people around wearing shorts and a t-shirt. I mean, they were even wearing it when we were in like 1 degree. And I just don't understand that. But, hey, to each their own. But anyway, I have a lot to show you today. I think I last filmed at the end of December of 2021. So I have done a lot of crafting since then. So I would suggest that you get yourself a beverage. Oh, like my friend Robin from Lady Robin's does. I don't have a ton of mugs, but this mug, my mug of the day today, is my Watkins Glen, New York mug that I got when I was visiting some family in that area. Not think Corning was where we were actually staying, but we took a little day trip to Watkins Glen State Park, and it was very, very lovely and very steep climb. I mean, luckily it was pretty much all stairs, well, not natural stairs, I guess, but stairs kind of built into the rocks and things. So it wasn't like we were actually rock climbing because there's no way this girl is doing that. But it was rather steep and we got a lot of exercise that day. Let's just grab our beverages. It is still morning here, so I haven't transitioned to wine yet. And let's just get into it. Now let's start with my FOs, or finished objects. I actually have 3 to show you since the last time I filmed. I am really impressed with that number. I'm not gonna lie. I have so many projects on the go anymore, and that is like highly unusual for me. I have always been a one project at a time type of a girl, so this is a little overwhelming for me to have so many things going at one time. But I'm trying to embrace it, and I'm trying to not overwhelm myself. So having 3 finished objects in 1 month is pretty good for me, and is helping me to like not feel anxious about the amount of projects I have going. So although looking at the stack of things in front of me is a little overwhelming, but we'll get there. So anyway, oh, and let me preface this by saying, if it's going to bother you that none of my projects are ironed right now, I'm sorry, but they aren't. And I didn't want to take the time because I literally have this finite amount of time to talk to you today, and I didn't want to take up that time by ironing all of my projects. So it is what it is. And none of these projects are FFO'd or fully finished. Is that the word? Fully finished. So, or maybe finally finished. I don't know. But we're getting there. I think I will probably finish most of these in just like simple frames or hoops, because some of the smaller things I want to make into ornaments. So I just think maybe hoops would be the easiest option, but we'll see. We'll see what I end up having time for. Looking at all my projects, I'm not sure what I'll have time for, but we'll get there. Okay, so anyway, my first words. My first finished object is my temperature tree by Stitch and Mommy. I worked on this all of 2021 and I didn't think that I was actually going to finish it by the end of the year, but I did. Yay! I love all those colors. It's very representative of how the weather is in Pennsylvania. Like really, really cold in let's see if I can hold this correctly. Really, really cold. And I think this is like January of 2021. And then, it gets increasingly warmer for a while, but I don't think we ever got any really crazy hot temperatures. A couple of these, I think, are like the hottest temperatures. We didn't really get too hot of days this summer. And then we are like just getting into the colder temperatures by the end of the year. Our really cold weather in Pennsylvania, at least around where I live, is January and February. So everything up till then is just like, normal cold. But, oh, sorry. I thought I wasn't filming for a second and I kind of had a little panic moment. We are, it's fine. So, but yeah, I'm really excited with how this turned out. As you can see, I highly misjudged how much fabric I was going to need for this. So I'm probably going to have to maybe add a little, somebody suggested muslin, I think, to the edges and then just put it in a frame. I don't think it'll be too difficult. I don't get too fancy with my finishes, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think I'll probably hang this on the wall in my study. In my like my library office area, behind my one chair that I like to film in because it's very bright and colorful and I want that room to be bright and colorful. My next finish is Polar Bear Abode by Lindy Stitches. And again, this is not fully finished, but this is, I think she does have a series of these. There's like Henrietta Hedgehog, which I need. And I think there's a vulture or a condor, which I think is cute. I might have to do him too. I definitely need Henrietta Hedgehog. I love hedgies. But my friends Sarah from Tea and Stitches and Mandy from Coffee and Stitches with Mandy, we decided we all wanted to sew this together at the beginning of the year. So this was my New Year, New Start. And this was also my first WhipGo small because what I did with all of my WhipGo items was I put like a legit whip on in all of my squares. And then I also said I needed to start a small. So realistically, that should mean I do 2 smalls a month. And you'll see where that has gotten so far in January. But this was my first small and it's stitched up really pretty quick. So I already forget what fabric this is, but it's 18 count. I know that. Picture this plus, I think. I'll find out and I'll put it in the description below. I wrote notes, but I wasn't highly prepared to remember what fabric. And then I just did DMC. I did realize that the Christmas tree or the tree is supposed to be in a lighter green, but I forgot to get that one from the store. So I just used the same green as I did for the border in the tree, and I think it looks fine. So I love him. Now, the one problem I did kind of find was the DMC that I used for the ice is pretty much exactly the same color as my fabric. But in the end, I really don't care that much. I know it doesn't look that bad. But yeah, if I just didn't want to rip it out. But Probably, I don't know. Maybe I should have done like more, like, blended it with a white, maybe. I'm not really sure. But, or maybe it was blended with a white. No, it was, no. I don't know. But anyway, looks fine. And then the third finish I have, I just realized is probably not technically a finish because I just realized I forgot to finish the back stitching on this, but that'll take me like a day if I remember to do it and just like bust it out. So I'm not really worried about it. So we're still going to call it a finish. And this is the Stellar's J by Lindy Stitches. This was her first in her Bird Crush Club series that she is doing this year. And I like signed up for the whole year on a whim at the end of December. It was like my Christmas present to myself. So I'm really excited to get our next one, but he's just so cute. My mom really loves birds, and because of her excitement for birds and my dad's kind of excitement for birds now that they're kind of in retirement mode. My dad's not technically retired yet, but he's planning on it. But they live in like a community, like it's not a retirement community, but it kind of is. And they have a bird feeder outside their big bay window, and they just love watching the birds. So it kind of their excitement has kind of infected me. Even though I don't get to watch birds as much around my place. But yeah, I love everything Lindy Stitches does, basically. So I was like, yeah, I don't care that the birds are going to be a mystery because I love birds and I love Lindy Stitches. So I'm going to love them all. And I will have 12 cute little birds at the end of or at the end of 2021 or 2022. What year is this? 2022. And again, I am like the worst floss tuber ever because I don't remember what this fabric is. It's 20, or no, gosh, it's 18 count. I think it's Vintage Country Mocha, Ada. I think. I don't know. I think it is. It's Vintage Country Mocha on Ada. I'll put it in the description. I'm the worst. And I used all the called for DMC and the variegated Threadworks fancy floss that we get in our kits every month. So it was fun to work with variegated floss. I never had worked with that before. I wasn't really sure that I did it right, but I think it looks okay. I mean, it's variegated, so I think it works. Yeah, I love him. We don't have Stellar's Jays in Pennsylvania, I've realized. They are more out in Colorado and like the west of the United States. So sad, but I love him. We do have Blue Jays though. They're the slightly less fancy version of a Stellar's Jay. They don't have that fun little bouffant on the top of their head. Oh, and I forgot to say that I was also selling this with my friend Robin from Lady Robins. I don't know if we're going to continue to sell all of these together. I hope we do. But we had a little hashtag that was called Stitch All the Birds. And yeah, and it was really fun to do that with her and to see her progress. And there's been a ton of uh, progress pictures on Lindy Stitches Instagram page and everything. So it's been fun. Okay, so now let's move on to whips. I have a lot of whips, so we'll try to move through these a little faster than the FOs. So I looked at it and I think that I touched almost all of my whips that I carried over from 2021 in the month of January, which is impressive for me. The only one I did not touch was my Jane Eyre piece by Mrs. Pagodi Arts, which I need to rectify that hopefully in February, and We Three by Lindy Stitches, which that will definitely be rectified in February because it is my Whip Go pick for the month of February. So, but anyway, so quit the chatting and let's just move on. Okay, so this is actually a new start slash whip right now, and that is Thankful by Priscilla and Chelsea, who are stitching with the housewives. And I am going to attempt to do a fair number of their fall smalls this year to hopefully make a cute like fall and Halloween themed tree so that I can have my Christmas tree up longer. Okay, and this is how far I am as of last night on Thankful. It's going to take me a little bit longer than I originally expected. There's just a lot of little random color changes in it, but it's a really quick stitch, pretty much. I actually started with the house because I'm like, that's just the biggest part of it. I just need to get it done. And so I busted out that house, and now I'm just working on the corn, and I have to do Thankful and the border up at the top, and it will be done. So this is done on 18 count black Ada, and I have, like, if you watched one of my previous Flosstubes, I think I showed you the area rug sized piece of black Ada that I bought off of 123 Stitch for all of my, hopefully all of my fall smalls that I'm going to do this year. So I don't know, I may have cut too big of a piece of fabric for this, but maybe not. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. This will be probably my focus for the next couple of days to try to see if I can maybe just get it done by the end of January so I can just move on to more smalls with a clean slate. My next whip is Beautiful Things by Lindy Stitches. Are you sensing a theme here that I love Lindy Stitches? I think we've talked about this before. I started this piece on November 15th of 2021. Didn't really get very far because I think I only gave it a day. And then, so I put it on my Whip Go board to do 7 days on this piece and see, you know, how far I got. I think, okay, so first of all, this is how much progress I've made so far. If I can find it, I will try to find my last picture that I took before I went into it so that you can see how much I got done after like that 1 or 2 days that I worked on it last year. So essentially, if I can't find that picture, essentially I finished the whole flower, and I'm getting down into the stem, and this will be a leaf over here. So I think as of right now, I've kind of lost track. I didn't mark off a couple of days, but I think I've done about 4 of my 7 days at this point. So actually, maybe I should make this my my focus piece for the last couple of days of January, just to see if I can you know, get a little bit more done on it, because I would like to have this. Ultimately, here is my goal for this piece. Ultimately, I would like to have the whole thing completed by November 15th of 2022. That will put it at a full year, and that will put it on the anniversary of the thing that I started this for on November 15th. So we'll see. It's not going to be like a hard and fast deadline, but it would just be nice. I feel like it shouldn't take me that long, but it's just like, you know, actually doing it and putting it into a rotation where I'm actually making some progress on it. So we shall see. And this is, again, I didn't write down any of the fabric I'm using, but this is definitely Picture This Plus because it's a lovely floppy Ada that I like. It is 18 count. Oh, yes, I know what it is. It's 18 count earthen in Picture This Plus, or vellum. Maybe I don't know. No, it is earthen. That's what it is. Yeah. Because, okay, flowers, earthen. That's how I'll remember it from now on. 18 count earthen Picture This Plus. And that's another thing. I'm starting a digital stitchy journal, hopefully, for all of my finishes. So that's one of the things that I need to remember, is to put the fabric that I'm using down on those, in those things. So also, if you have any recommendations for digital, like stickers, or digital like journaling pieces that I can put into a digital journal that I already have, that's just like the blank paper, that would help me like have a template to fill it out with, I would appreciate it. So leave those below. So the next WIP that I worked on for a total of, I think, 1 day in January was Walk Fast, also by Lindy Stitches. This is a WIP that I've had going for a while in 2021. And as we all are aware, Betty White of the Golden Girls fame, who actually was the one to say this quote, because she was Rose Nyland on the Golden Girls, and she always talked about her Scandinavian upbringing. And Betty White died at the end of 2021. She was 99 years old. She would have been 100 years old on January 17th. So on January 17th, I pulled this pattern out and worked on it. And this is where I am on it so far. The part that I worked on for Betty's birthday was the fish head. And the whole time I was working on the fish head, I was singing that song, fish heads, roly-poly fish heads. So, yeah, I love him. Now, it does look, okay, so look at all the different colors on his face. And then look at the picture on here. But I don't think I did it wrong. I definitely didn't do it wrong. So maybe between when this was, this test picture was taken and when she published pattern, maybe she changed things up a little bit, but I like him that way. I still have not been brave enough to go back and work on any more of the border. I might just save that for last. I need to just tackle my fear and go for it, because man, that is a difficult border. But yeah, I love it. Now this is the Picture This Plus Ada in the color vellum. That's and it is also, I believe, 18 count. Might be 16 count, but I'm pretty sure it's 18 count. I am learning that I really enjoy 18 count Ada. It's very tiny, but it makes for like a nice tight stitch definition on the pieces, and I like that. The last thing that I worked on, just for 1 day again, because I was having some dilemmas on what I should do about the pattern that I was working on, and I just thought, I just need to get my colors, get like every color that I can for this project, and just stitch across the piece and see how big it's going to be, see if I can bring the joy back for this piece. And that piece is Mini Night Cafe by Heaven and Earth Designs. The the actual artist is Leonard Asimov, I believe is his name. And as you can see, as is typical with Heaven and Earth Designs patterns, it's very, very, very intricate. And it's going to take me years, and I've just come to terms with that it is a very long-term project that, hey, I might never get done. But this is the progress I've made on it so far. When I started it, I was just going to try to do 1 page at a time, and I'm still going to do that. I just think that would be helpful to me. My head can't get wrapped around the whole diagonal stitching thing. And being that this is my first Heaven and Earth designs, I'm just like, you know what? If there's some page lines in it, there's page lines in it. I'm not going to worry about it. My struggle is going to be to get it done. So if there's page lines, oh well. I'll deal with it. But the thing I was struggling with was that I had already restarted this once. And when I turned it around, because as you can see, there is my first start, and I didn't want to pick it all out, so I just turned the fabric around. Then I noticed as I was doing it, I don't know if you can see that, but there is this slub right here. And I was really concerned that I was going to run into that and it was going to be a big issue. So, as you can see, I decided that I was just going to work across the top row, and I'm doing just half stitches, and this is, I believe, 25 count easy grid Lugana, I believe. And so I worked the whole way across, and I just missed that slip. I was going to restart this on 18 count Aida, because, you know, we've just discussed that I love 18 count Aida, but, and I even talked to Shiloh from X Stitch MD, because she does her HAEDs on 18 count Aida, and she makes like fantastic progress on them all the time, and they're just amazing. And I was like, man, I want to make more progress on this. Maybe I should just restart it on 18 count. And I had even talked to her about it. I was ready for the finished project to be a little bit bigger. I didn't really care. I just, you know, wanted whatever was easiest. But then when I started working on this and was just doing the half stitches, I was like, I really enjoy this. I don't know why I thought I wasn't enjoying it. So I think now that I have more of the DMC that I need to finish the project, I was kind of working on just what I had before, and I shouldn't have been doing that. I should have just gotten all of the colors right away, and so that I could just do what I needed to do and make progress. Now that I have that, most of my colors, because some of them were just out, and so, you know, I still have some I need to get, but now I'm going to attempt here, what am I doing? Just do this. Now I'm just going to attempt to finish this page, or get like at least this like little swirly thing filled in. That's going to be my main focus, is to get this little swirly thingy filled in. So, yeah. And then I think it will just be more manageable that way, if I can just work on one page at a time and not worry about all the other pages. If I'm just like, yay, I finished a page, then I'll feel like I finished something. So that is Mini Night Cafe. Also, I just wanted to throw in my current knitting whips. I haven't really been knitting very much lately. I kind of got in a knitting slump at the end of the year. But I have been working on my Christmas socks that I was doing with my friend Sarah from Tea and Stitches. And so I split my ball of yarn, which this is Ravenwood's Fiber Co. And I believe the colorway is Sock Candy. Christmas Sock Candy, maybe. I can't remember. I asked Sarah before I started stitching this, but I hadn't heard back from her, and I just was like, oh well, I forgot a whole bunch of other stuff, so I'll just film it. But anyway, I split my cake into 250-gram balls. So my original intent with sock number 1 was to use this entire 50-gram ball of yarn, but my feet are really small, and I was getting pretty dang bored. So I think that's why I got into a knitting slump, is I was just bored of just round and round and round and round on the leg of this sock. So, and I don't really like giant socks. I like them to be like about mid-calf, and I'm happy with that. So this should be that length for me. So I'm now working on the ribbing, 2x2 rib. I have about 5 rounds done on that. I want to do about 20 rounds on the cuff, and then I'll be done. So with one sock. So then I'll need to cast on the second sock before I get into second sock syndrome, which I have right now. I have first sock syndrome, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, but we're going to try it. And I would like to show you my cute little progress keeper. It is Emma by Jane Austen, one of my favorite authoresses. So then my last knitting whip at the moment is the Boxy Sweater by Joji Locatelli. And I have been working on this fairly consistently. Like I said, I kind of got into a slump with it towards the end of the year, so I just recently picked it back up. And this is as far as I've gotten with it. It's worked from the bottom up, which is not something I've ever done before. And it's getting kind of like the ribbing is kind of curling up there. But so last night I worked on this for about 30 minutes, a little bit over. And the rounds of this, it takes me 25 minutes to get like a round and a half. So I did not get very far. So that is why this is all I have of this sweater. I need 18 inches before I can start whatever the next section is on the sweater. And that's probably going to take me forever because I'm trying to like be my word of the year, which I don't always do, but I am trying to be more intentional with my time. So intentional is my is my word of the year, and I'm trying to strike a good balance between all of my projects and also what I have to do, like to keep up my house and like be a productive member of society and not just sit on my butt and read and cross stitch and knit all day, every day. So if I want to have a house to live in that is not filthy dirty, I need to make a little bit of time for actual housekeeping every day. So I'm trying to be intentional and not knit. I'm going to do like the crazy sock ladies, 30 minutes of knitting every day, but probably not on this because, well, that will go into plans, which I guess we're going into now. Yeah, we'll just talk about plans at the moment. So my knitting plans for February, March, and April are, and probably beyond, who even knows, is I have 3 friends that are all having babies and are all due around the same time in April. So I want to make them all a present. And I like to make baby things out of yarn. So I got all of their color preferences yesterday, and I have to go do a little stash diving, and for what I don't have, I need to buy. And I definitely know that the one friend, I'm going to need to buy yarn for that one because her color choice I know I don't have. So, which is fine. I mean, I don't have a huge stash of yarn for reasons that I try to not have a ton of yarn without having a project to go with it. So yeah, but I will have a project to go with this, so I need to find it. But yeah, I plan on using the next few months to try to make 3 baby items to send to my friends. So we'll see how that goes. I have already informed them that they will most likely not have their items by the time their babies are born. So I said, I didn't really get on the ball with this, much before today. So yeah, you're probably going to get a very late new baby gift, but hey, whatever. It's gonna get there. That's the main point, right? So, and it will be made with love. So, yeah. So that is my knitting plans for my my cross stitch plans, we are going to just be doing whip go some more. My the numbers were called, and what I got was walk fast, which I already showed you. So that'll be good. Maybe my intent with that one. I originally had on my whip go board just 7 days for all of my projects, which might be what I continue. But also, I might just try to maybe finish the fish for walk fast, and that will be enough for me because that's like the biggest part of that piece, other than that border. I'm not going to make myself a goal of finishing a border in a month. So maybe the fish. And then the other one that was called was the one of the two projects that I did not touch at all in January, and that was We Three by Lindy Stitches. And this is where I am on that one so far. This fabric is 18 count X Jude Designs fabric in, I don't know if it had a actual colorway, but it's like a really awesome green, and it's actually coming out quite well on camera, so that's cool. But yeah, I will be working on that, and maybe my goal for this one will be to finish that one cat and to work on another cat. So not to finish a cat, but just work on it. I don't think I have that much longer to go on this piece, so I think I can definitely finish this one by the end of the year. We'll see. And then also part of my whip go, which I'm probably going to take off of my whip go board because I mean it doesn't really suit the nature of whip go to like be starting things. But my goal for each month is to at least start a new small, two new smalls for my tree. And so I think if I make these designs smaller than what they call for, I think I could still consider them for my tree. And both of them are from Mama Witch Cross Stitch, and she is on Etsy and she has a Facebook group, and she doesn't have a Flosstube, but an Instagram as well. And excuse me. And I decided for the month of February that I would work on Mr. Robin the Mailman, which I think this is absolutely adorable. I love birds, as we've mentioned. I love robins, even though they're kind of mean. I think they're kind of mean. But I love them. They're pretty. And yeah, this little guy is just adorable and definitely would make a good Christmas ornament. And the other one I want to do is the turkey freebie that you can get freebies from her on her if you join her Facebook group. And this is a pretty impressive freebie, to be honest with you. And I just think this guy is hilarious. This might be a little bit big to call a small, or at least for an ornament. I may not do all of the scroll work. I might just do that main image of the turkey in the barrel and the whatever that is, the gin or the moonshine that he has near him. I might just do that main image and leave off the scroll work so that I can maybe just put it in a smaller hoop. But I think I'm going to try to do that one on my 18 count black Ada as well, just to try to, because the image itself is done on like a gray Ada, so I don't see why a black wouldn't work as well. So, but yeah, I am really excited to start those two things. So this puts me into haul. So the first bit of haul is knitting haul, yarn haul to be exact. And at the end of the year, so story time. I have been watching Addie from Ruby and Rose's Designs on Flosstube for quite a while. I think it's amazing that she is so young and has this really thriving yarn dyeing business, and yeah, that's just kind of amazing to me, and kudos to her for making such a successful business. And and she had an employee, and but it was just like a two-person show as far as I knew. But she was coming up with amazing, bright, just beautiful yarn. And I had always wanted to try it. But I try not to buy fancy, sort of expensive for me to yarn that often, especially when I'm kind of in a slump, and especially when I don't really have a project in mind for that yarn. I just, I try to be, even though I like to buy things, I like to be economical and intentional about it. But Addie decided she was going to move to her own apartment and get a new space for her yarn dyeing business. She had been living with her parents, but she graduated from high school. And I, you know, I don't know what all of her reasonings were for deciding she needed more space, or her own space, but she decided to move. So she had a moving sale, which I think she had this yarn on sale for 20% off, which is pretty darn good. So I decided, you know what? If I'm going to try Ruby and Rose's yarn, this is the time to do it. So I picked up her Unbreakable Vow colorway. And she has a lot of Harry Potter themed yarn, which I love. And this is, gosh, it's so soft. It's on her soft rose base, so soft, makes sense. It is let's see, an 85-15, 85 superwash merino, 15% nylon, 100 grams 4-ply yarn. So I mean, this would be for socks probably, but I think that I am maybe going to make some mittens out of this. Okay, sorry, where were we? My dad called me. So, oh yeah, we were talking about Ruby and Rose's yarn. So I got this, and then additionally, with having 20% off of this yarn, she also sent I believe this is a 20-gram mini. So originally I was thinking, although it doesn't really match, but I was thinking if I did socks, I could do like heels, toes, and cuffs in this. And but then the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, well, I mean, it's not matchy, but if I do a pair of mittens in this and don't do anything that's like a contrast with it, then I could possibly do, I thought about starting like a blanket, like a minis blanket, like everybody does, or like maybe if I have like if I start collecting some of these minis or like fancy minis, I can make like a scrappy shawl out of it. Not that this is a scrap, but maybe some kind of colorful shawl out of that. But yeah, but something. But I don't know what yet. So, because I don't know. This is my thing with socks. I love socks and I love making fun socks. But like if you're gonna wear socks, the majority of time they're stuck inside your boots. So so like this yarn is too pretty to be stuck inside boots. So they probably should go on my hands, which my hands are pretty small too. So I'm probably gonna have leftovers of this too. But if I have leftovers of this, I can put them into a scrappy blanket, right? And also I have a little plan for next Christmas with minis with scraps. So yay. So then for speaking of Christmas, my friend Sarah from Tea and Stitches, as we've talked about before, she bought me a gift certificate to the shop Fiber Stash. I believe it's based out of Vermont. And actually, yeah, it is, because my friend Mandy, who Sarah introduced me to, she, I believe, works for the lady who runs Fiber Stash. I don't know, like full time, part time, just here and there. I don't know, but but yeah. So that was kind of cool to know that tie in. But yeah, so Sarah got me a gift card for Fiber Stash, and I picked out this yarn. It is called the New Year. I think it's called New Year's Eve. Yes, New Year's Eve sock yarn. That's so pretty. Now, you know, because of circumstances, I did not get it until just recently. but but yeah, I don't care. I bought it at the end of 2021, so New Year's Eve still makes sense to me. Um, so these might be socks. I might make this into a sock because that's the other thing. Socks, I feel like should be dark because if you do wear them outside of your boots, the chances of them getting dirty are probably pretty good. so, um, I do kind of like the fact that if I made these into socks, they would be dark. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how this knits up. So I love all those colors. Ooh boy. Hey, I'll have to come up with like a fun pattern because I generally, the only patterned socks I have ever made are the Hermione's Everyday socks. And they have a little bit of a pattern in them, but I feel like I want to branch out into some other kind of sock pattern. So I'll have to look around for something that might look good with this yarn. If you have an idea, let me know. So, oh, okay. So last in the haul section, I bought two patterns in the last probably just in the last couple of weeks. So I bought the 4th of July by Shannon Christine Designs. And I've been eyeing this pattern for a little while. And she also has a Canada Day one. And my friend Sarah is Canadian, and Mandy is American, lives in Vermont, and we decided that we are going to sew this pattern at the beginning of July because Canada Day is July 1st and the 4th of July, Independence Day, July 4th. so, um, so yeah, we are all going to do the pattern that coordinates with our respective holiday. And I love this pattern. It's so pretty. And I really, like, I never thought I was going to be a patriotic stitcher, but I really had a good time doing that tiny modernist one last year at the what was it called, Land of the Free. And I just really loved that pattern and loved the colors and how bright it was and just all the little symbols and stuff. So when I saw this one, I was like, yes, please, I need another patriotic pattern for this year. So I'm really excited to get started on that one. And then last but certainly not least is I joined the Narnia SAL, Chronicles of Narnia SAL for the Stitching Book Club. I really wasn't intending to buy this pattern. I really just didn't think I would get one because the lady who runs the Stitching Book Club, she was saying on her Instagram that she had a very limited amount of the patterns because this is a collaboration with the um, uh, C.S. Lewis Foundation or something like that. And they kind of commissioned her, sort of, or collaborated with her to make a certain amount of patterns for this. And she was able to get more. However, I just was like, there's no way I'm never good at getting in on stuff like that. Like they always sell out way before I even think about it. I'm not somebody that just like sits on my computer and waits for stuff to open up so I can get a spot. Except for the Bird Crush Club. I got in on that like right away and weirdly got a spot. So, but anyway, I didn't really think I was going to get this pattern, but I did. Like I went in maybe like a few days after it went live, or maybe it was the same day, but it was like way later. And I looked and it was like a decent price, and I was like, oh, there's still some available. It doesn't say it's out of stock, so I'm gonna see if it'll let me have it, and it did. So I was very excited. um, and now I'm seeing a bunch of other people that I watch on Flosstube are also doing it. So I just have to get my fabric ready. I will probably do it on a smaller count Ada than this calls for. I believe this calls for 14 count. Um, but I will probably try just maybe a 16 count, just to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm assuming since she's starting it for Ada, it's not going to be anything that's like too difficult that I can't handle on a 16 count Ada. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that too. But that means there's a lot of stuff that's going to have to be started in February. Oh well, today is Sunday, so I can kind of just relax after I finish filming this and editing it, and I can just kind of work on all my projects and see if I can get anything done by the end of the month. So I think that is it. This is a long video. I'm sorry, not sorry. I kind of like long Flosstube videos, and judging from the amount of long Flosstube videos I watch, you guys like them too. So hopefully you don't care that much that I did this. But anyway, I hope you had a lovely start to your 2022. I hope you are all staying healthy and safe, and I will be back at the end of February to give you an update on if I actually started the things that I'm supposed to start and finished anything. And maybe I'll have started some baby things, which I'm not sure that I should show until I actually send them, because then it will be spoiled because they're gifts. I'm now having an existential crisis. So I better go. I'm going to warm up my coffee and get to editing and then some stitching. So, all right, friends, have a good February, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye.